Okay, let's do this problem. It says refers to the sample data for pre-employment drug screening shown below. If one of the subjects is randomly selected, what is the probability that the test result is a false positive? We'll talk about a false positive in a minute. Who would suffer from a false positive result and why? Okay, I'm going to put it in Excel just so I have a very good display. You could write it down on a sheet of paper and use a calculator to do the same thing pretty easily. All right, I need to total across and down and double check. And I'm going to say equals sum, and I will do the across right there. Same thing here, equals sum. Okay, and then I want to total the column. You can do it in your head if you want to, or you can actually do it with the Excel. Well, something went astray there, didn't it? Because we know we're not supposed to get that. So let's see what this did. Okay, what was that number supposed to be? It's supposed to be an 8. Let's put it back in and let's sum it up again. So equals sum. Use your common sense sum as to what to get. Okay, now let's total and be sure we've done everything correctly, and especially if you're doing it by hand, and be sure that you put everything in correct. Okay, that's not the right answer. So that would be the sum of D2 and what? D3. I can correct it like that. Or let's go double check it this way. And I would say equals sum. Okay, got 74 both ways, so I've got 74 trials represented right here. And it wants to know what is the probability of a false positive. You've got to understand what a false positive is. That is the person that took the drug test, it came back positive, but that person did not use drugs. And that does happen. So there's one person in that category. This one poor little person took this test, and the test came back saying that they use drugs and they really do not. So one out of how many? Well, let's do the arithmetic right here. If I just do 1 divided by how many total? 74. What do I get? That gave me a date. So I can't just do arithmetic in here like I could some other places. If I want to just do arithmetic, I just need to do equals sum, open up, and just put the arithmetic in. So then I could do 1 divided by 74. It's trying to make that into a date, isn't it? Okay, there. I think it must have just gone into a date since I put the other one there. But you could just pull up your little calculator right here, and you could do 1 divided by 74. It works the same way. You get approximately the same answer. So either one of those that you want to use. But we round it to 3 decimal places. So to 3 decimal places, it would be 0, 1, 3. The 5 is going to round that up to a 4. So I would put in 0.014. Okay. Now, it says who would suffer from the false positive result and why. The person tested would suffer because he or she would be suspected of using drugs when in reality he or she did not. The employer would suffer. Not really. I mean, the employer doesn't really suffer. He might, run the risk of losing a great employee, but he's not really suffering. The person tested would suffer because he or she would not be suspected of using drugs. They would be suspected of using drugs when they really didn't. Okay.